Hey, welcome to my Armor Core 6 boss guide. In this video I'm going to show you a different lightweight build for Balteus, Sea Spider and the Iceworm. I've tested all of them, can S-rank the boss with parts available from that section of the campaign. I've also put up the full fight for each of them. I'm going to walk you through how to use the build and clap the boss. Timestamps for the builds and the fights are at the bottom, and if you like what you see, throw me a like, a sub, a comment, anything. I'd love any of it. Thanks for clicking on my video in the first place. This is just my first video in the series. I'm going to cover every major boss all the way to New Game Plus with nothing but lightweight builds. So let's get started with the build for Balteus. Alright, so for the Balteus build, the first thing we need is OS tuning. Boost kick's always useful. And we need weapons bay to make the build work because we're using weapons on our back. Other than that, you can grab, we want assault armor for sure. And we can pick either 3% extra damage or 3% extra mitigation. It's up to you, but it's not really going to make a difference. It's 3%. It's nothing really. As far as the design goes, I'm using the full neck frame. A good part of this build is the arms have a really good firearm spec and decent melee spec. It does affect our damage directly with the sword being a little bit under 100%, but it's good enough. They're not bad. Next, use the Alula booster. It's probably the best booster in the game. It has good thrust, so good top speed, quick burst thrust, good dodge, quick burst reload is very good. Assault boost thrust is pretty quick, and the melee thrust is very good as well. So it's all the things we want on this build. I use this booster for the whole game. Yeah, you don't even have to buy it, you just unlock it from the training modules for the start. For the SVS, the Abbott has the best close range assist. It's pretty crap for missiles, but we're not using missiles, so we don't care. The Generator 20S is the best we have available at this point of the game. It gets the job done. These three generators I use for most of the game as well. This one's better all around, but we don't get it till later, and this one's great for if we need a shitload of power. The expansion slot, we're running assault armor. And for the weapons, we're running the double Holderman setup, so 2 shotguns and the pulse blade on her back. And the reason I got the right arm empty, I'll show you. We'll go into the test run. It basically just gives us a little bit extra boost to keep on top of this boss, because he's a big boy, but he moves around a fair bit. Sometimes it can be hard to keep up with. I have to bring up an enemy to show you properly. Tetrapod, no AI. Okay, come out. So with the empty fist, we can, if we have the pulse blade in our other hand, we can dodge in with the fist and then be on top of him with the sword. Or vice versa, if we miss the sword, we can get back on top of him, pull our shotguns back out, and just keep blasting. So it's hard to fit something else on the back slot with this setup, so having the fist is better than nothing, right? And it is actually, it's more powerful than you think. I have tried a bunch of other setups on this. A lot of people rave about, where is it, like the bubble gun down here. These guys, but they're difficult to fit, and sure, they're good for breaking the bubble, but once the bubble's broken, you want stagger more than you want damage as well. They're just part of the puzzle. They don't do enough. I don't rate it. It's not my jam. The other one I like is the bazookas, but on a lightweight build, that's not the best because we have to stop to fire them. They're better on a heavy build, but they are good for stagger and breaking the shield. But I settled on the shotguns, and you'll see in the replay that, yeah, I bullet him pretty hard with the shotguns. If you practice this build, you'll smash him, no worries. Alright, so the basic strategy for Balteus is to get on top of him, stay on top of him, break his bubble with the sword and the shotguns. The sword will do most of the work on that front. And don't worry too much about his missiles. Like, don't get me wrong, they will hurt if you eat the whole volley, but that's not really the dangerous part of the fight. And they're very difficult to dodge completely, so don't worry if you're getting hit by a couple, just don't eat the whole volley. I'll go over a couple more of his moves as we watch the actual fight, but I kind of ruined him in this fight, so straight off the bat, he's going to do his missile volley. Trying to show you how to avoid it. You're not going to avoid all the damage all the time. You're going to take a little bit of chip, that's fine. Kind of use him as an umbrella. Get underneath him, get close, get behind where the missiles start, and you'll be right. See, I'm just trying to stay on top of him, get the sword swings on when I can. When he runs to the edge of the map, he's always going to do this missile volley, so just chase it down. Once he's in the stagger, we just start pumping him. The goal is to get him into a second stagger before he hits another bubble. That's why I hit the assault boost there. If you can get him into a stagger chain, you can do a shitload of damage. You gotta be careful here when he's around 50% HP, because he's gonna do that. But luckily we're quick enough that we can dodge it from point blank. Gatling gun can do a bit of damage, he's coming straight at you. And he does his, after the burst, he goes into his tantrum sword phase. I'd usually recommend just backing off, but I stuck to him for some reason. I was very aggressive in this fight, and I kind of ruined him. I only had the 6 points in this as well. This isn't me coming back at it super juiced. I only had 6 OS tuning chips in. And yeah, I just absolutely ruined him. I'll show you another fight, because your fight's not going to be this easy. It's not this easy for me. I just got lucky, and I played it well.
Enemy systems down. It's silent.
Right, so this is another fight. I actually did have all the tuning chips in here. I ended up going back to redo it to see how difficult it was with 6 and like smash my own record, but anyway.
It's an autonomous PCA craft. Balteus.
Keep an eye out for things that I didn't mention in the first fight. Like I said, he runs to the edge and he does this missile thing. You don't really worry, just get underneath him, use him as an umbrella, and you'll take a little bit of chip, but don't stress. Keep hitting him with the sword, try and keep the double stagger going. The main attack to watch out for that always hits me is the shoulder cannon. That one. If that one hits you, it will stag you, and then you'll eat the missiles, and you'll eat everything else, and it's no fun. He's going to go into his pop phase here. I knocked him pretty far under 50%, luckily. And as I said, usually you're better off just backing off and letting him play at his tantrum. A lot of things are easy to dodge if you get height, because if you're falling and moving to the side as well, it's easier for them to miss. So his tantrum's over, so we're going back, try to pop the bubble, get the stagger. The sword does the most damage to the bubble, so I use that as often as I can. Dodge that shoulder cannon, because once I said, like I said, that's the bad one right there, you see? I hit it right in the face. Just keep it up. Sword for the bubble, shotguns. They're just there for show, really. Well, they're not. They do a lot of damage, but the sword's the start of the show. A little kick, yeah, kicks can be very useful. Although I needed to be there, but they can get to the stagger here and there. Or you can do like I said and put your shotgun on your back instead and have the fist ready for another lunge and more stagger. But I wasn't smart enough to do that when I actually fought him. So.
It's silent.
Yeah, that's that. Balteus. Alright, so all the Sea Spider build hasn't really changed much from the Balteus build. We're still using the Alderman shotgun. We don't have a better shotgun on hand yet. You could use something else here. It's not really that important for the build. The Pulse Blade is excellent. Always will be. You can use it at the end of the game if you like. It's just good. And we got our hands on it from the start of the game. The Songbirds are probably the first really OP weaponry you get your hands on. They will smash him. If you get your full combo off of all your weapons when he first lands, or at any point in the fight, you can fill his stagger bar with one volley of everything. You know, a sword swing and the double volley from the grenade launchers will really do it on their own. Got a kick in there. Yeah, it's not hard to stagger this boss with this setup, which is what makes it so strong. We're still using the knack frame because we like being speedy. It's all about being light, right? We had to swap out to the Femeza chest. A little bit worse on dodging, but not much. But we need this for the extra generator output to fit the double songbirds. If we tried to change back to the knack, we run out of power. We just don't have enough. So we had to change something out because we don't have access to better generators yet. Not until we kill this boss. So we're still using the 20S. The Abbott close range assist, that's pretty much all I ever use. The Lula, again, pretty much all I ever use. You unlock that from the training missions, like I said, in the Balteus part. It's, yeah, excellent. Quick boost thrust, afterburner, assault boost, sorry, melee attack, and overall speed. It just keeps us very speedy. I love terminal armor. I use it especially when chasing S ranks and on a light build. If you get hit by some of the spider's big attacks, like his pincers or his laser cannons and things, or his big explosion, that can one-shot you in this build, and you just don't want that. If you're more confident or you don't care about the S rank and hitting the checkpoints, like the only way to lose S rank really is to die and have to restart the fight. You have to restart the whole mission to get the S rank again. But if you think you can do it, you can run assault armor and just put out more damage. You can run pulse armor as well, but it won't. You got to be pretty good at predicting what's going to happen and when the damage is going to come, or when you're going to do your little burst phase. So pulse is okay. I don't really use pulse protection. I've never really played with it. I don't see much point in it compared to the others. Thermal armor, you can either use it on your first repair kit, just don't pop it until, like, don't repair it until terminals pop. I usually use it on my second one, so I have one repair in the pocket, and then I'll use it with the repair in the pocket. If you use it with no repairs, you're just going to come back after the bubble's gone with 1 HP and die anyway, so it's best used when you cop a hit that you weren't expecting and you have a repair in the pocket. That's the way to do it. And that's about all there is to say about the build. Right, so onto the Sea Spider. He's honestly not that hard. The Songbird build, you can stagger him pretty easily. He does a lot of damage if you eat it, but you won't struggle with him, I don't think, with this build. I'm just showing you this part, because if you're chasing the S rank, you don't need to kill any of these little drones or anything. Just come to this bridge and go to the right side and hook underneath it. The lasers will miss, go to the top. Assault boost across the gap and hide into that. And you're all good. That's the whole thing. You can dodge all these little drones, you don't need to kill any of them to get S rank. You just have to do this quickly, the whole mission, and you have to not die to get the S rank. So onto the actual Sea Spider fight now. The strat is to just hit him with a Songbird, set up a stagger, and slap him. That's all there is to it. The Songbirds are busted. You'll see on this initial volley how much stagger that does. You just need one tap with the sword and he's there, he's all yours. And we just keep pumping and damage him while he's got the red bar up. Obviously his attacks hurt. He's got some pretty nasty ones, but I think it's better to stay close to him. The big one to watch out for is Pincer. If you listen to him, you hear him charge him all the time. When you hear the charge, yeah, you gotta be careful. But with this build, as you can see, we just staggered him out of his big damage attack anyway. Set him up with the Songbirds, hit him with the sword, and then just go to town. If he's close to a stagger, just go in there and hit him with a sword charge and stop him from doing whatever he's doing. Pumping damage. Now he's got another phase as well. You'll see he won't take much damage when he pops up in the air. He's just kind of got his own little invincibility moment. And he's going to do a massive charge that hits the ground. It's a big explosion, does a shitload of damage, just don't be on the ground. And keep it up. The Songbirds have massive range. It's a bit harder to hit him. Well, it's not really. Just keep hitting him in the air. It's a bit harder to get up there and hit him with a sword, but that's all we got to do. Set him up with the Songbirds, hit him with the sword. Just rinse, repeat. Songbird, sword, slap him away, and you'll get him. No worries. Easy. I'll show off another run again, see if there's any moves that I missed or anything else I can tell you.
Enemy detected.
I didn't set up the stagger as well. I shot him with the Songbird at the start there. You see the difference? Didn't get the stagger off the bat, so we're going to take more damage to it probably. Oh. Anyway, keep at it. Songbirds and swords. I think I picked this one because I was trying to play it in the air and he decided he wanted to stay in the skybox the whole time, and it can be annoying. I just wanted to show that he does that. Songbirds and sword. The pincer attack, it does a lot of damage. If you dodge to the side and one pincer hits you, it's okay, but if you get them both, it wrecks you. I think this fight's before the patch, and the other fight was after the patch as well. He was apparently nerfed, but I don't really notice the difference.
Smash it up, tourist.
See, because I was so high, he wanted to get higher than me, and now he's up in the clouds, and he doesn't want to come back. So I had to back off and let him have his little moment. He'll come back down. It's a big explosion. I think I ate it then. It could have been worse, but it wasn't good. It'll kind of linger on the ground as well, that big explosion. Sometimes you can be looking up and fall down on it. As you can see, I always lock onto enemies as well, especially flying ones. I kind of learned that trick after Libus. So that's another story. And there we go, another kill. Yeah, the songbirds and sword, it's great. You'll get him done. You've got the tools to get the job done. You just need a little bit of practice, and you'll do it. No worries.
That was quite the
Okay, so Ice Worm. All we need for Ice Worm, we need to bring the stun needle launcher. It's part of the story. We can't break his shield without it. There's not really any reason to bring two of them, because he has a third phase where he has a double strength shield, but he can't one volley it because I don't know, story reasons. I don't know, you just can't. So as long as you're in the right position and you can hit the one, that's all you need to fit. You don't have to go overboard. So we stay speedy, do it on light build like everything else. I'm still using Knack. It's the same build as before. The Firmeza gives us extra power. The Knack is nice and speedy. You could, if you wanted to, you could swap out for the reverse joints. They're light as well. They're pretty much the same fitting requirements. They're a little bit heavier, or they're lighter, yeah. They're heavier. So it doesn't really matter. You can use them if you want to. That's fine. I'm still using the Lula, always use the Lula, Abbott. If you have a better generator, I'm not sure when these unlock, you could put one of these on for a bit better recharge and stuff, but the 20S still works. Terminal's fine. You can one-shot you if you stand in a shit spot, but you could also go with Pulse Armor. We don't really need more damage. When he gets into his stagger phase, the shotguns do more than enough. It's more about getting me into the stagger phase than actually hurting him, so we don't need anything else. And that's that. There's not really a lot to say about this boss. It's more of a spectacle than a difficult fight, but it's difficult to S rank. The whole fight revolves around breaking that shield with the spike launcher, really. To get the S rank, dying resets the whole thing anyway. That's not the issue. It's time. We just gotta do it quickly and not take damage, I assume. It's all about being in the right spot to line up that headshot, and I can't really tell you how to do it. It comes down to luck. I've seen other players try to get distance so that when it chases them to line up the headshot. You could try that if you like, but just keep doing it. As long as you don't miss your shots, you'll get him. See, once you break the shield, Rusty slaps him with the sniper cannon thing, and you got all the time in the world with the shotguns to do the damage. It's not an issue. You don't really have to do anything. You can't one-shot him with some magical build. You have to break his shield 3 times, and there's no way to get around that. This stage, to do it quickly, probably don't do what I did. I was trying to line up a headshot, trying to avoid these other targets that kept snapping too, but I think the best way to deal with this part is to just get rid of the bots as quick as possible. And then once the bots are down, you'll see it come up with a headshot. Few left still. Yeah, they're pretty much cleaned up now, I think, and you should come out of the ground for an easy shot. Oh, still a few there. So I should have just been killing them and not looking for the shot. See, here he comes, nice and easy. We just dance around. All these attacks are pretty easy to dodge. It's not until this phase where he gets a bit angrier that he actually hurts you anyway.
Turbine output at 80%. Output 95%. 100%.
It is a very cool fight though.
Friendly fire.
Secondary shield down.
See, we just get all the time in the world to hit him.
All yours now.
And once you hit the damage cap for this phase, he's just invulnerable, he just pisses off. You obviously don't want to get hit by that, back off.
Fullback 621.
It's pretty easy to see coming though.
We've underestimated this beast.
He does,
He's
they're like little missiles or drones or something, little red things that chase you. They're probably the most dangerous part of the fight.
looks like things just took a nasty turn. I'll set the ORC to maximum output.
Unless he actually comes out of the ground like that and you cop it. It's just happened to me a few times. I'm lucky, but I got thermal armor. I'm not going to die. There's not really any point to using the other ones. Maybe pulse armor to just block damage altogether in phases like this. See, if I had two needles there, I wouldn't be able to break the shield anyway. We have to hit him in two separate shots, so there's no reason to double up on spike launches. So I just got lucky and he came up again, gave me another easy shot, and I hadn't lost a lot of health. The fight's over at this point. He's going to come up again. I'll just do the damage and finish him off.
Modules connected. Energy turbines at full capacity.
Just keep retrying it if you're chasing the S rank. If you're trying to do it the first time, this build will get you through easy.
All emergency valves closed. Disabling limiter. 100.
Rusty takes his big slap. Very cool.
All or nothing.
Just pump him while he's down and it's over. There's nothing else you can do. You don't have to dodge any damage, you just stand here. You got all the time in the world. That's it. All over.
Is it over? Get clear, it's gonna blow!
This was an S rank run as well. Yeah, you can wait around and wait for the S rank thing to pop up. Maybe I'll fast forward. There it is. Easy. Well, that's it for this video on these three bosses. I'm planning on doing the rest of them as well. The chapter bosses anyway. I'll probably do Ibis, Cell 240 and what is it? Balteus Snail Neck. And then I'll do the final three bosses in another video. Maybe I'll mix it up, I don't know. That's the plan. Thanks for watching this one. Hopefully it helped you out. You might be the only person that ever watches this video, so if you could swing me a like or a comment or a sub, I'd appreciate it massively. I'm only just starting out on YouTube, so yeah. Hopefully this guide helps you out and you come back for the next one.